Israel, I know you don't do a ton of these interviews and stuff, man. So I appreciate you taking the time and thankful to your partners at Stake for connecting us. Can you just tell me a little bit about that working relationship and how that's kind of come together so far?
Steak, I've been with them for a few years now, and we just recently re-signed with Steak because it's been beneficial for both parties. But yeah, I just like the way they operate. I like the way we handle business as well. And to be honest, they just kind of let me be me, which is one of the main things with anyone that I sign with is just letting me be me because whatever I do is good for the company.
Yeah, and it's always interesting, right? Like I remember I asked you when you won the interim title in Atlanta, and I think you shared the clip earlier this year because it was like the 5 year anniversary when I asked you about, what how life was
Yeah.
going to change as the fame went up, and you gave that really, really great quote that I think connected to a lot of people. Um, all these years later, we've seen that star continue to rise. When you look back at that, how different do you think things are now compared to like what you thought in that moment it would be like?
We all have an idea of what things will or should be like in our head. But yeah, compared to what I thought in my head, I pretty accurate. But then there's always the unknowns, the unknown unknowns, and I feel like I've been dealing with them quite well. So yeah, I was ready for this.
Yeah, man, for sure. And we're glad you're fighting in Australia, but it seemed dicey there for a bit. And I know, there was some back and forth. Like Ariel Hawani was kind of very public reporting about it, about how things were going along. Would you say like I don't know, the struggle, for lack of a better word, in getting this fight done, did that like strain the relationship with the UFC? Or is it like sometimes in relationships, adversity can strengthen it?
I didn't think it strained the relationship at all. I think yeah, it was just part of the negotiations. They listened to me when I put my case forward. But business is business, and we handled business on this side. We just keep it on the wraps because keep it in the house. Family fight sometimes. I'm sure in your family things happen, or even friends fight, where you come together and you make it work. And yeah, we got the job done in the end.
Yeah. What kind of was your ultimate pitch there?
It's need to know basis, but I pretty much just said, let me handle it. I just told them, let me handle the big stuff. And yeah, I'll handle the big stuff and then I'll handle Strickland.
Yeah, and of course that's a fight that kind of people have been asking for or thinking would come together since, even before that press conference exchange you had last summer. So is this one you're happy to finally have crossed off the checklist?
Yep, definitely. I'm looking forward to this. It's for a little while, but I had my eye on Du Plessis and he pussied out. So yeah, now I have Strickland and I'm glad I have Strickland.
Is this one of the trickier fights, or like these type of fights the trickier ones to maybe not get up for but get through? Because a lot of people expecting you to win here, there's high expectations for you. um, Knowing that, is that something that you have to bring a different mindset into the fight as opposed to maybe the last one where there was a lot of people doubting you?
No, not really. I don't care about what people think, even though yes, people do think I'm gonna blow through this guy, rightfully so, because I will. And I said I'm not. He's not an easy fight, but I'll just make it look easy. He's a hard fight, but I'll make it look easy. I've made a lot of hard men look easy, easy work. So yeah, this would be no different.
Is there anything he said in particular over the years that has like agitated you, or that you feel like you want to make it look impressive for and kind of pay him back for? I know you're very conscious of everything that's said out there.
His breath, just anything he. Nah, to be honest, it's just his behind the scenes when it's just me and him. I've been with him in the locker room. I've been with him backstage. Even last time I saw him in Vegas, I smacked him in the dick. And there's yeah, like behind the scenes, and then his public persona. People thinks he's this guy. Like, oh, he's crazy. Is this right, right, right? Behind the scenes, he's soft. I'm soft. I wouldn't even call him soft. That's actually an insult to soft people. But I'll just say he's like He's uh he's like that idiot in the back of the class that won't shut up, that just has to talk and talk over you to get his point across. So yeah, there's nothing in particular he said has gotten to me, but just his whole, just anytime he breathes, he just says some idiotic things. And I kind of want to just show people what happens backstage. I just want to show them on the main stage that he's my bitch.
Do you feel like he's one of those people, the quote of like the loudest person in the room is kind of the most insecure type thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a loud man when I need to be loud, but I'm very quiet and I observe. And he definitely has his own insecurities and whatnot. And oh, I'm a man. I'm ride my motorcycle with my boots and, drink my beer and fucking, he wants to be that guy and macho and machismo. But I'm like me, I don't need to prove I'm a man by doing all that kind of shit. I just be me and I'll still fuck you up.
That press conference scene, what are you doing to kind of prepare for it? Or do you just like go in there and go with the flow? Or do you have some things that you kind of want to get out there when he is in front of the people and the whole world is watching you both on the same stage up there?
I'm not worried about the press conference. I'm worried about the fight. See, he's worried about the press conference because that's, where he thinks he's going to shine. Last time he just caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting to go back and forth with him. And also I hated the fact that he was sitting behind me like a retarded kid in class. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the fight because that's where it counts. I could give two fucks about a press conference, but I got some bars for him as well.
Yeah, and speaking of the fight, I mean, we know what he likes to do. He likes to pressure and things like that. And sometimes he'll have high output, sometimes, not so much. If you're him, do you feel like he needs to go in there and kind of throw caution to the wind, or does that end up with the same kind of outcome that he had against Alex Pereira if he fights too aggressively?
No, same kind of outcome. He's getting knocked out. He's getting knocked out in this fight. But I really believe his team will try and get him to wrestle or clinch with me, and he'll get dumped on his ass and get knocked out again. So yeah, again, I don't take him lightly because a man with you know everything to gain and nothing to lose is a very dangerous man. So I take him very seriously, but I just know who I am and I know where I'm at. Even right now, I don't want to do this interviews because I'm in a bit of a state right now. So I'll get these done and I'll go back to recuperating and getting ready for tomorrow. So yeah, I'm on a warpath. I'm gonna end this, man.
Can you give me a little more insight into that mindset that you have right now? I mean, I know like I was going to ask how you feel about like these fights now. You had the belt, you kind of lost it all, and then you managed to get this back. You're the only two-time middleweight champion in UFC history now. No one's been able to get that back. Has that made you look at things differently now that you've kind of lost it and got it back?
No, I've always said fuck the belt, but the belt belongs with me because I'm the best. But yeah, same energy. That hasn't changed. I still feel fuck the belt. It just happens to be with me because I am the best. And yeah, I'll prove so again, come September 9th.
And what is it going to be like for you not having to fly all the way across the world this time, just from like a physical perspective of not going through all that time change and stuff? Like this is as close to home as you're going to get, barring a show in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's easy. I don't mind. I like the fact that I don't mind traveling, but I like the fact that I can give the people out here a show because they've been craving a live show for a while. Not just me and the boys, me and the whole team, and also my boy Kevin Jusay just got signed up.
Mm.
Unfortunately, Kai had to pull out because of
Yeah.
an injury. Yeah. But yeah, so it's a big moment for us out here, and yeah, I can't wait to just shine with the boys.
Yeah. And do you want to revisit the Dricus fight after this? I know you said on one of your interviews on your YouTube channel, Freestyle Bender, which is one of the best out there. If no one's not subscribed to that yet, they should. But you mentioned maybe if Hamzat beats Paulo Costa, he could be next. There's a lot of interesting guys kind of on the rise right now at middleweight. But is the Dricus one something you feel needs to get done after this?
We'll see if he shows up. But also, I'll see how I feel. I'll see how I feel. I do want that fight. I feel like that will be one of the most important fights in sporting history.
Can you elaborate on
But,
that a little? Why you feel that is?
I mean, you're a smart man, Mike. I
Yeah.
think that'll be one of the most important fights in sporting history. I mean that when I say history. So yeah, I'll see how I feel because again, time keeps on ticking. Time waits for no man.
Do you want the rest of the year off after this? I know you love being active, but is it? Do we maybe wait till 2024 to have another fight?
I don't know. I'll see how I feel. We'll see how I feel. I want to take care of Strickland first. This first things first. Take care of Strickland. I never underestimate and I never overestimate anyone. So I can't start doing it again.
To have this fight kind of line up with the documentary, and I've seen the advertisements and the clips you post on Instagram, and now it seems like the world is going to be able to see all of this. What do you feel like? I know there's kind of been small groups that have seen this already, but when the whole world kind of gets exposed to this story, is that something that you think is going to be? How do you think you're going to feel once all of this stuff starts to get out there for more people to see?
Uh, I'll be all right. I was kind of nervous for the premiere in New York just because it's really raw. Um, just me being quite open more than I usually am with people, letting them into my life or my thoughts. So yeah, it's quite nerve wracking, but I think I'll be fine because I survived New York and the Tribeca Film Festival. So I'm like, yeah, people have seen it now. I'm fine. So people love it. It's well received, not just by MMA fans, but everybody, grandmas, grandpas, teachers, nurses, you know. Yeah, all walks of life get something from it. Even if you don't like me, you can still get something from this movie. So yeah, I implore everyone to watch it when it comes out.
Yeah, is there a part two you think like in the future that needs to be done, that goes off the back end of that?
I'll definitely do something later on. And a movie will be in the works at some point, maybe long after I'm retired. But
Okay.
yeah, definitely a part two will be in the works.
Nice. And a couple last things I wanted to ask you before I let you go. Appreciate the time again, man. Who do you think wins that fight between Hamzat and Paulo Costa in Abu Dhabi?
I don't know. We'll see.
See if Hamzat how he looks against an upper tier guy in this division. I know Paulo seems like he's very determined to get that rematch with you.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
When is the training with John Jones going to happen?
I don't know. We'll see.
You're not thinking much beyond this fight, right? It's all about this, and then you figure out the plans after.
Exactly.
Awesome, man. Well, totally understandable there. I appreciate the time, Izzy. I'm just in a stopover right now in Vancouver to see some family, and then I'll be on a flight to Sydney in a couple weeks here. So excited to see you out there, and looking forward to this whole event.
My man, Sharp Mike, thank you.